Welcome back to Conversion Bible, everybody. Today, we're talking about something super interesting, something that really plays on how our brains work when we're shopping online.
Yeah, it's all about that little feeling of, oh, I better grab this now before it's gone. That's what we call scarcity marketing.
Exactly, scarcity marketing. Those only a few left messages or those countdown timers ticking away, they get us every time.
Well, they get most of us anyway. But the question is why? What makes these tactics so effective? That's what we're going to explore today, going deep into the psychology behind scarcity marketing.
We're going to find out exactly how it works, why it works, and how you can use it ethically and effectively on your own Shopify store.
And that's the key ethical implementation. Because while scarcity marketing can be incredibly powerful for driving conversions, it's important to do it the right way. We don't want to be manipulative, we want to be persuasive.
Absolutely. We want to build trust with our customers, not trick them.
Exactly. So let's start with the basics. What exactly is scarcity marketing, and why should Shopify store owners care?
Well, in a nutshell, scarcity marketing is all about creating a sense of urgency by highlighting the limited availability of a product, a service, or even a special offer.
And it's not just a sneaky sales tactic. It's rooted in some pretty fundamental psychological principles.
Okay, so let's talk about the psychology. I know one of the big ones is FOMO, fear of missing out.
Ah, yes, FOMO. We all know that feeling, right? When we see everyone else enjoying something and we don't want to be left out.
Totally, like when a product is almost sold out and you think, oh no, everyone else is getting it, I'm going to miss out. It's like a primal instinct almost.
It really is. It taps into that deep-seated desire to belong, to be part of the group. And when something is presented as scarce or exclusive, it becomes even more desirable.
It makes it feel more valuable too. It's funny how that works. If something is always available, we might not even think twice about it. But if it's rare or hard to get, suddenly it becomes much more appealing.
Exactly. Our brains are wired to value things that are in limited supply. Think about it. A limited edition item, a rare collectible. These things often command a premium price simply because they are scarce.
And then there's loss aversion, which is the idea that the pain of losing something is stronger than the pleasure of gaining something of equal value.
Right, so in the context of scarcity marketing, the fear of missing out on a deal or a product can be a much stronger motivator than the potential enjoyment of actually owning that product.
It's like we're more motivated to avoid the negative feeling of missing out than we are to experience the positive feeling of getting a good deal.
Exactly, and that fear of loss can be a powerful driver of action. It makes us want to act quickly to secure the item or the offer before it's gone.
And all this boils down to one thing. Scarcity makes us make decisions faster. It cuts through all the hesitation and the maybe I'll buy it later thoughts.
Precisely. Scarcity creates a sense of urgency. It forces us to make a choice. Buy now or risk losing out.
Now, our research did mention that certain demographics, like younger shoppers, might be even more susceptible to these psychological triggers.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it probably has something to do with their constant exposure to social media, where FOMO is basically the name of the game.
Makes sense. But I think the key takeaway here is that even though the intensity of these psychological responses might vary, the underlying principles are universal.
Absolutely. We all value things that are scarce, and we all want to avoid loss.
But, and this is a big but, it's crucial to be genuine with your scarcity tactics.
Right, because customers can smell a fake a mile away. If you're constantly claiming things are almost sold out when they're not, you're going to lose trust.
And once you lose trust, it's incredibly hard to win it back.
It's game over for your brand reputation.
So authenticity is key. Your scarcity tactics need to be based on genuine limitations.
Exactly. Now, let's move beyond the psychology and talk about the business case for scarcity. How does it actually benefit your Shopify store?
Well, the most obvious benefit is that it can lead to higher conversion rates.
That's right. By creating that sense of urgency, you're more likely to turn those browsing shoppers into buyers.
They see that timer ticking down or that low stock alert and they think, okay, I need to act now.
And it's not just about getting more customers to buy. Scarcity can also increase your average order value.
How so?
Well, think about it. If a customer knows a sale is ending soon, they might be more inclined to add more items to their cart to take advantage of the offer while they can.
Or if they see that a product they want is almost sold out, they might buy two instead of one, just in case.
Exactly. And another huge benefit is that scarcity can help reduce cart abandonment.
How does that work?
Well, imagine a customer has added items to their cart, but they're hesitating to check out. Maybe they're still browsing, comparing prices, or just plain procrastinating. A well-placed scarcity message like a countdown timer or a low stock alert can give them that extra nudge they need to complete the purchase.
It's like saying, hey, don't wait too long or you might miss out.
Precisely. Now, our research actually highlighted a case study where combining countdown timers and limited stock indicators led to a revenue increase of up to 27%.
Wow, that's a significant number. It really shows how these tactics can work together synergistically.
Absolutely. And in today's hyper-competitive e-commerce landscape, having that edge is more important than ever.
Right, because customers have so many options. They're constantly bombarded with choices. So anything you can do to stand out and create that sense of urgency can be a game changer.
And the great thing is that implementing many of these scarcity tactics doesn't have to be expensive or complicated.
There are tons of affordable apps available in the Shopify App Store, and many Shopify themes even have built-in features that you can utilize.
Exactly. So there's really no excuse not to at least experiment with some of these techniques.
But again, always remember that authenticity is key.
Absolutely. Use these tools ethically and responsibly, and you'll build trust with your customers and drive sustainable growth for your business.
All right, so we've covered the why and the how of scarcity marketing. Now let's dive into the specifics. What are the different types of scarcity tactics that we can actually use on our Shopify stores?
Well, there are several main categories, and each one plays on different psychological triggers. Let's start with time-based scarcity.
Okay, so that's all about creating urgency by limiting the amount of time an offer is available.
Exactly. The classic example is a countdown timer ticking away on a sale or a promotion. It visually represents that dwindling window of opportunity, prompting customers to act quickly.
Right, and we see those everywhere online. Sale ends in 24 hours, last chance to save, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Another example of time-based scarcity is a limited time offer. This could be a special discount, a free gift with purchase, or any other incentive that's only available for a specific duration.
And then there are things like same-day shipping cutoffs. Like, order within the next 2 hours to get your order shipped today.
Right. That taps into people's desire for instant gratification. They're more likely to buy if they know they can get the item quickly.
So it's all about playing on that feeling that if they don't act now, they'll miss out on the opportunity.
Exactly. Now, another powerful type of scarcity is quantity-based scarcity.
So this is all about emphasizing that there are only a limited number of items available.
Precisely. You see this all the time with messages like only a few left in stock or low stock alert.
Yeah, those definitely get my attention. When I see that a product I want is almost sold out, it makes me want to buy it even more.
Exactly. It creates a sense of urgency and exclusivity. It makes the product feel more valuable, and it makes customers feel like they need to act quickly before they miss out.
And even those simple sold out notifications can be effective.
Right, because when a product sells out, it creates a buzz. People might start talking about it on social media, or they might ask the store when it will be back in stock. This can generate even more demand and excitement for the product.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
The more scarce something is, the more people want it.
Exactly. Now, another category of scarcity tactics is what we call access-based scarcity.
Okay, so this is about restricting access to a product offer, making it feel more exclusive.
Precisely. One way to do this is with member-only deals, where you offer exclusive discounts or promotions to your email subscribers or loyalty program members.
It makes them feel like they're a part of a special group, like they're getting insider access.
Right, and that can be a powerful motivator. It makes people feel valued and appreciated, and it encourages them to stay engaged with your brand.
Another tactic is offering early access to a sale or a new product launch.
Exactly. You could give your email subscribers a chance to shop the sale a day or two before it's open to the public, for example.
Or you could give early access to people who pre-order a product.
Right, that makes them feel like they're getting a special perk for being a loyal customer.
And then there's VIP pricing, where you offer special discounts or pricing tiers to certain customer segments.
That's right. You could offer discounts to students, seniors, or military personnel, for example.
Okay, so we've got time-based scarcity, quantity-based scarcity, and access-based scarcity. What's the best way to use these different types of scarcity tactics?
Well, our research suggests that the most effective strategies often involve combining different types of scarcity.
So instead of just using a countdown timer, you might also include a low stock alert, or you might offer early access to your email subscribers.
Exactly. By layering these tactics, you create a more powerful sense of urgency and exclusivity.
And our research also mentioned seasonal scarcity and post-purchase scarcity as interesting approaches.
Oh, definitely. Seasonal scarcity plays on the natural urgency associated with holidays or special events. Think about limited edition Christmas ornaments or Valentine's Day gift sets.
It taps into those feelings of nostalgia and tradition, and it creates a sense of urgency because the products are only available for a limited time.
Exactly. And post-purchase scarcity is all about offering an exclusive deal to customers immediately after they complete a purchase.
So while they're still feeling good about their purchase, you offer them a special discount on a related product, or maybe a bonus item if they spend a little bit more.
Precisely. It's a great way to increase customer lifetime value and boost your average order value.
Okay, let's get a bit more practical. Let's talk about countdown timers. Where are the most strategic places to put these on our Shopify stores?
Well, you want to place them where they'll have the biggest impact on the customer's decision-making process. So product pages are definitely prime real estate.
Right, because that's where customers are deciding whether or not to buy a particular item.
Exactly. Put the timer right next to the Add to Cart button, or maybe just above the product description. Make it really noticeable.
What about the cart page?
The cart page is another great location, especially if you're trying to reduce cart abandonment. A timer reminding customers that their cart is about to expire or that a special offer is about to end can be very effective.
And what about site-wide banners?
Site-wide banners are great for promoting store-wide sales or big events like Black Friday or Cyber Monday. They ensure that every visitor to your site is aware of the limited time offer.
And then there's the checkout page.
The checkout page is your last chance to create a sense of urgency before the customer completes their purchase. A subtle timer here, maybe reminding them about a shipping cutoff or a limited time discount, can be that final push they need to click buy now.
So it's all about strategically placing those timers at key points in the customer journey.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about the different types of countdown timers that you can use.
Okay, so beyond just the classic sale ends and timer, what are some other options?
Well, you can have a shipping cutoff timer like we talked about earlier. This reminds customers that they need to order by a certain time to get their items shipped that day.
Right, that's especially effective for customers who are looking for fast shipping.
Exactly. You can also use a stock replenishment timer, which tells customers when a sold-out item will be back in stock.
That's a good way to build anticipation and excitement.
Right. It keeps customers engaged and coming back to your site to check if the item is available yet.
And then there's the free shipping threshold timer.
Exactly. This reminds customers how much more they need to spend to qualify for free shipping, and it can encourage them to add more items to their cart.
Okay, so we know where to put our timers and what types of timers we can use. How do we actually implement these on our Shopify stores?
Well, the good news is that you don't need to be a coding expert to add countdown timers to your site. There are tons of great apps available in the Shopify App Store that make it super easy.
Do you give us a few examples?
Sure, there's Countdown Timer by Apicon, Countdown Timer Bar by Hexdom, and FOMO by Farah. These apps offer a variety of features and customization options, so you can find one that fits your specific needs and budget.
What are some key things to keep in mind when choosing a countdown timer app?
Well, first of all, you want to make sure that the app is easy to use and that it integrates seamlessly with your Shopify theme.
Right, because you don't want to spend hours trying to figure out how to use the app or fighting with your theme to get it to work properly.
Exactly. You also want to make sure that the app offers a variety of customization options so you can create timers that match your brand and your website's aesthetic.
And it's important to make sure that the app is mobile friendly.
Oh, absolutely. These days, more people are shopping on their phones than ever before, so it's crucial that your countdown timers look good and function properly on all devices.
And it's a good idea to look for an app that offers analytics and reporting so you can track the performance of your timers and see how they're impacting your conversion rates.
Absolutely. Now, once you've chosen an app and installed it, there are a few key design considerations to keep in mind.
Okay, like what?
Well, you want your timers to be visible but not intrusive.
Right, you don't want them to be so big and flashy that they distract customers from the rest of your site.
Exactly. Use colors that contrast well with your site's background but don't clash with your brand colors.
And make sure that the timer is easy to read and understand. You don't want customers to have to squint or think too hard to figure out how much time is left.
Absolutely. And of course, as always, test, test, test.
Right, because what works for one store might not work for another.
Exactly. Test different timer designs, different placements, different durations. See what works best for your audience and your products.
Okay, let's move on to limited stock alerts. How can we make these as effective as possible on our Shopify stores?
Well, like countdown timers, it's all about strategic placement. You want those low stock alerts to be right where customers are making their purchase decisions.
So on the product page near the Add to Cart button.
Exactly. And you don't want to be too vague. Instead of just saying low stock, tell customers exactly how many items are left.
So something like only 3 left in stock.
Exactly. That creates a much stronger sense of urgency.
And you can even use different colors or icons to make those low stock alerts really stand out.
Right. Make them red, make them bold, use an exclamation point, whatever it takes to grab the customer's attention.
And it's important to make sure that your stock alerts are accurate and up to date.
Oh, absolutely. You don't want to be telling customers that there are only a few items left when there are actually plenty in stock. That's a surefire way to erode trust.
And it can even lead to legal issues in some cases.
Right. So make sure that your stock alerts are connected to your actual inventory management system and that they update in real time as purchases are made.
Now, how about creating a sense of exclusivity with limited product releases? This seems like a really powerful tactic for certain brands.
It definitely can be.
Yeah.
Limited product releases are a great way to generate buzz and excitement and to create a sense of urgency and exclusivity around your products.
So how do we do it? How do we create a successful limited product release?
Well, first of all, you need to make sure that the product itself is actually desirable and exclusive.
Right. It needs to be something that people will actually want to buy, and it can't be
Yeah.
something that's readily available elsewhere.
Exactly. It could be a limited edition item, a collaboration with another brand or influencer, or even just a small batch of a popular product.
And then you need to build up anticipation before the release.
Right. You want to tease the product on social media, send out email blasts to your subscribers, maybe even create a landing page with a countdown timer, get people talking and excited about the launch.
And when the product finally drops, you want to make sure that it's easy for customers to buy it.
Absolutely. Make the checkout process as smooth and seamless as possible. You don't want to lose customers at the last minute because of a complicated checkout flow.
And you might even consider offering early access to your most loyal customers or email subscribers.
That's a great idea. It makes them feel special.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about flash sales and limited time offers. These can be really effective for boosting sales quickly.
Definitely. Flash sales create a sense of urgency that encourages customers to buy now.
So how do we plan a successful flash sale?
Well, first of all, you need to decide on a duration. How long will the sale last?
And what's the sweet spot there?
Most experts recommend keeping flash sales relatively short, somewhere between 4 and 24 hours.
That makes sense. You want to create a sense of urgency, but you also don't want the sale to be so short that people miss it entirely.
Exactly. You also need to decide on a discount level. How much are you going to discount your products?
And again, what's the magic number there?
Well, it depends on your margins and your goals, but generally speaking, you want to offer a discount that's significant enough to entice customers to buy, but not so deep that it eats into your profits too much.
Right. It's all about finding that balance.
Exactly. And then you need to decide which products you're going to include in the sale.
Do you have any recommendations there?
It's a good idea to choose products that are popular, that have good margins, or that you're looking to clear out of your inventory.
Okay, so we've got our duration, our discount level, and our product selection. What's next?
Promotion. You need to get the word out about your flash sale.
Right, because if nobody knows about it, it doesn't matter how good the deals are.
Exactly. Use email marketing, social media, paid advertising, whatever channels you have at your disposal to promote the sale.
And make sure that your messaging is clear and concise. Highlight the duration of the sale, the discount level, and the products that are included.
And don't forget to create a sense of urgency. Use phrases like limited time only or don't miss out to encourage customers to act quickly.
Okay, so we've got our flash sale all planned and promoted. What do we do after the sale is over?
Well, first of all, take a deep breath and celebrate your success. But then it's time to analyze the results.
Right, because you want to see what worked well and what you could do better next time.
Exactly. Look at your sales figures, your conversion rates, your average order value. See what kind of impact the flash sale had on your business.
And then use that information to plan even more successful flash sales in the future.
Absolutely. Now, another really effective strategy is to combine scarcity with social proof.
Okay, so remind us what social proof is all about.
Social proof is basically the idea that we're more likely to do something if we see other people doing it. It's why we read reviews before we buy a product or why we follow the crowd at a concert.
It's like that feeling of Well, if everyone else is doing it, it must be good.
Exactly. And when you combine social proof with scarcity, you create a really powerful, persuasive message.
It's like saying this product is so popular and it's selling out fast, so you better get yours before it's gone.
Exactly. And there are a few different ways you can implement this on your Shopify store.
Like what?
Well, one way is to use live sales notifications. These are those little pop-ups that appear in the corner of your website telling visitors that someone just purchased a particular product.
I've definitely seen those before. They really catch your eye.
Right, and they create a sense of urgency and excitement. It's like, wow, other people are buying this product right now. I better get mine too.
And you can also display viewer counts on your product pages.
Exactly. Something like 15 people are currently viewing this product.
It creates that feeling of, oh, this product is in high demand.
Exactly. And then there are sold counts, which tell customers how many units of a product have been sold recently.
Again, it's all about showing customers that other people are buying the product, which makes them more likely to buy it themselves.
Exactly. Now, there are a few different apps that you can use to add these social proof features to your Shopify store.
Can you give us a few examples?
Sure. There's Sales Pop by Beaconing, FOMO by Farah.ai, and ProofSource. These apps offer a variety of features and customization options, so you can choose one that fits your needs and budget.
And just like with countdown timers, it's important to use these social proof features sparingly and strategically.
Absolutely. You don't want to overwhelm your customers with too many pop-ups and notifications. That can be really annoying and actually have the opposite effect of what you're trying to achieve.
Right. It's all about finding that balance.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about strategic placement. We've talked about where to place individual scarcity elements, but what about the overall placement strategy for our entire Shopify store?
How can we create a sense of urgency throughout the entire customer journey?
Well, think of it as a funnel. At the top of the funnel, you're trying to attract customers to your store and get them interested in your products.
So on your homepage, you might use a site-wide banner to announce a sale or a promotion.
Exactly. And on your collection pages, you might use low stock alerts to highlight products that are selling fast.
And then as customers move down the funnel towards the product page and the checkout page, you can increase the sense of urgency.
Right. On the product page, you might use a countdown timer to emphasize that a sale is ending soon.
And in the cart, you might remind customers that they have limited time to complete their purchase before their cart expires.
Exactly. And throughout the entire customer journey, you can use social proof to reinforce the idea that your products are popular and in demand.
Right, because if other people are buying it, it must be good.
Exactly. Now, mobile optimization is absolutely crucial these days.
Right, because more and more people are shopping on their phones.
Exactly. So when you're implementing scarcity tactics on your Shopify store, you need to make sure that they look good and function properly on mobile devices.
So no tiny countdown timers that are impossible to read or low stock alerts that cover up half the screen.
Exactly. And make sure that your buttons and links are easy to tap on a small screen. You don't want customers to get frustrated and abandon their purchase because they can't figure out how to check out.
Okay, let's talk about email marketing. How can we use scarcity to drive conversions in our email campaigns?
Well, email marketing is a great channel for creating urgency and promoting limited time offers.
Can you give us a few specific examples?
Sure, you could send out an email announcing a flash sale and include a countdown timer that shows how much time is left before the sale ends.
Or you could send an email to customers who have abandoned their carts, reminding them that the items in their cart are still available, but only for a limited time.
Exactly. You could also use email to promote limited product releases or to offer exclusive deals to your email subscribers.
And you can use scarcity in your subject lines to get people to open your emails.
Right. Subject lines like last chance to save or don't miss out can be very effective at grabbing attention.
And when you're designing your emails, make sure that your scarcity messaging is prominent and easy to see.
Use contrasting colors, bold fonts, and clear calls to action.
Right. You want to make it as easy as possible for people to understand the offer and take action.
Now, let's look at a few case studies of Shopify stores that have successfully implemented scarcity tactics.
Sounds good. What have other businesses done that we can learn from?
Well, one small business that sells handcrafted goods used a combination of low stock alerts and limited time offers to increase their conversion rate by 34% and reduce cart abandonment by 22%.
That's impressive. How do they do it?
They started by highlighting the fact that their products were handmade and therefore in limited supply.
So they were using authentic scarcity.
Exactly. And then they used countdown timers and low stock alerts to create a sense of urgency and encourage customers to buy now.
And it clearly worked. What about another example?
Sure, a medium-sized fashion retailer used a combination of early access, countdown timers, and social proof to generate a lot of buzz and excitement around their new product launches.
So they were using a mix of different scarcity tactics.
Exactly. And they saw a 3x increase in their conversion rate for new product launches compared to previous launches.
Wow, that's a huge improvement. It really shows how powerful scarcity can be when it's used effectively.
Absolutely. And it's not just small and medium-sized businesses that are seeing success with scarcity marketing. A large electronics retailer used a combination of daily flash sales, limited quantities, and personalized urgency messaging in their email campaigns to increase their holiday season revenue by 27% and boost their average order value by 18%.
So it really can work for businesses of all sizes.
Exactly. Now let's talk about how to measure the effectiveness of your scarcity tactics.
Okay, because it's not enough to just implement these tactics and hope for the best.
Yeah.
We need to be able to track our results and see what's working.
Absolutely. You need to be looking at key performance indicators like your conversion rate, your average order value, your cart abandonment rate, and your time to purchase.
And how do we track those things?
Well, Google Analytics is a great tool for tracking website traffic and conversions. You can set up goals in Google Analytics to track specific actions, like adding a product to cart or completing a purchase.
And you can use UTM parameters to track the performance of your email campaigns and social media posts.
Right, that way you can see which channels are driving the most traffic and conversions.
And it's important to A/B test your scarcity tactics to see what works best for your audience and your products.
Absolutely. Test different timer designs, different placements, different messaging. See what resonates with your customers and drives the best results.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today. What are some of the key takeaways that we should keep in mind?
Well, first of all, scarcity marketing is a powerful tool that can help you to increase your conversion rates, boost your average order value, and reduce cart abandonment.
But it's important to use it ethically and authentically.
Absolutely. Don't try to trick your customers or create a false sense of urgency. That will only damage your brand in the long run.
And test, test, test.
Right, because what works for one store might not work for another. So experiment with different scarcity tactics, different placements, different messaging, and see what works best for you.
And remember, scarcity is just one piece of the puzzle.
Exactly. You also need to have great products, excellent customer service, and a strong brand.
Right. It's all about creating a positive customer experience that will keep people coming back for more.
Absolutely. Now, before we wrap things up, I just want to remind everyone that this deep dive into creating a sense of urgency on your Shopify store was powered by Growth Suite. Growth Suite helps you to run smart discount campaigns on your store.
You can test it for free on your Shopify store. Just head over to the Shopify App Store and check it out. I hope this episode has given you some valuable insights into the power of scarcity marketing. And remember, the most effective scarcity tactics are always rooted in authenticity. What genuine limitations or exclusive offers can you leverage to create a sense of urgency that resonates with your customers?
That's the question to ask yourself.
Thanks for listening.